Kessler.
This gal started her own bank at the age of 18, and then you became a self-made millionaire by the age of 24?
I did.
Hannah Kessler is a money mentor.
She's known as the single millionaire chick.
With advice on how to stop living paycheck to paycheck.
Money. It starts with your mindset.
How you think about your money is going to greatly impact how much money that you have.
I grew up in a town called Olathe, Kansas. I'd be walking out of the door, going to school, and my mama would holler at me, "Hannah, make good choices." And I'd have to holler back, "Because the choices I make today will affect my future."
My parents, they did a very good job about teaching me as a child how to handle my money.
We have a lack of understanding when it comes to money.
If you want your kids to have money, you need to start talking to them about it while they're young. I'm really second generation to this concept that's called the infinite banking concept.
And at 18 years old, my dad gave me the choice to start my own bank that then led me to becoming a millionaire by the time I was 24.
Now you've written a book to help tie it all together.
So the companion is really just teaching kids that, not specifically money, but really important life lessons.
Now being the owner of the Money Multiplier, I help serve over 17,000 clients in every state of the country.
Where can people get the book?
HannahKessler.com. Hannah spelled the same way forwards and backwards, Kessler with one S.
Also, I got my podcast show, the Money Multiplier Podcast.
And make good choices today, because the choices you make today will affect your future.
Good morning, y'all. Actually, I can say y'all now because I'm in Texas. Hee hee hee. I am coming to you live from the mothership, the van today. I am so happy to be back on the road. Let me tell you, I love living van life. So I got Daisy here with me. So she's our star of the show. Hold on. You see her there? There she is. She's looking out the window. So we left Daytona last Saturday. So Saturday, I think it was the 24th. And I headed up to Dadeville, Alabama. So that's where Grandma and Grandpa live. And I had a good time with them. Spent 2 nights with Grandma and Grandpa. And then I started to head west. And just not yesterday, the day before. What are we? Today's Thursday. So on Tuesday, I spent my afternoon in New Orleans. Let me tell you, I had a whole trip planned to New Orleans for my 21st birthday. However, when I turned 21, it was August of 2020. And I was like, okay, the world is shut down. That's not going to be a lot of fun. So I canceled the trip. I did something else for my 21st birthday. So I've never experienced New Orleans, never walked around the French Quarters and did all of the shopping, seeing the art galleries and eating the good food. And let me tell you, that's what is in the bag over there. I picked up some beignets for the road to go. I love the beignets, okay? They are all the hype that people say that they are. And I had some amazing seafood jambalaya when I was in town. But that is the freedom, right? I mean, that's the freedom of having control over your money is that you get to decide what you want to do with your day. Now, I'm still working, okay? So I woke up that morning. I took some calls. I worked from about 8 a.m. to about 11:30. I was an hour out of New Orleans. So then I drove and I parked. And then I blocked out my afternoon from 12 to 4. That's when I walked around the French Quarters, had lunch out there, did a little bit of shopping. Now, I did have to contain myself, okay, because if y'all know me, y'all know I love my clothes. And they had the cutest clothing shops, so I kept getting all their business cards and I kept asking, are you guys online, because I'm not going to take a whole lot of stuff. I'm very limited on my space in here. But that was a lot of fun. And then I came back and I had calls from 4 to 7 o'clock, so it's not so much, in my opinion, work-life balance. It's work-life integration. And that's what I've been learning and really structuring my life to handle and do for myself. So now we are just right outside of Austin, Texas. Again, never been to Austin. I watch a comedian, if y'all know Kill Tony, okay? Kill Tony's on YouTube, don't judge me. But I love comedy shows. I love comedians. And that is where they have their, they call it the Mothership Comedy Club. So I haven't done any research yet, but every week he goes live. It's a podcast and also goes to YouTube, and he sells tickets the day of the event. And I'm like, okay, I haven't looked it up yet, but hopefully when I'm in town, I can go and catch a comedy show and go see live Kill Tony. So anyways, that's just what's on my agenda right now. I am headed west. I need to be in Tucson, Arizona by the 4th of February. So we are right on schedule. I'm about 1,000 miles out, I would say, right now. And I'll tell you, I am bringing the good weather with me, okay? It was 60 degrees yesterday when I was driving through Texas. Also, I drove through Houston. Houston, you kind of suck. Your roads suck. No offense. That's just my opinion. But driving through, and today it's going to be, I just asked Siri, it's going to be 66 degrees in Austin. So I'm bringing the good weather, baby. Everybody else is all chilly. And actually, I saw Florida. Florida's getting hit with a cold chill right now. So I'm glad that I left town for a little bit. But that's on my agenda. So I have my girlfriends flying in, so that's why I need to be there on the 4th, because I got to pick them up from the Tucson airports, and then we're going to go do some stuff for the weekend. Now, today I do have a very special guest who's going to be joining me at the bottom of the hour. So stay tuned. All right. So he's going to be coming on. And before we get into my topics today, good morning, Dexter. You're always here right on time. Good morning. Annette, good to see you. I bet you're working and listening to me right now. Thanks for being here. Dexter saying, hello, Queen Single Millionaire Chick. Patrick, I'm glad that you're interested. Yep. So today's topic, we're going to be getting into the common frequently asked questions when it comes to the infinite banking concept. I might have to do a part 1, part 2. So every week I go live Thursday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern time. So stay tuned. Click the bell icon. You can see this live show on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Okay, so just follow my personal channels, Hannah Kessler, or the Money Multiplier channels as well. Good morning, Miss Jet. It's good to see you. I've been thinking about you. I miss you, girlfriend. And Dave, I'm going to be seeing you in a month from now. So in a month is our Tampa event. So good. I'm glad to see you. Dexter saying I-10 is beautiful. All right. Well, let's get into the topic that I want to talk about. So common FAQs when it comes to the infinite banking concept. I've been compiling this list based on my strategy calls. And I'll be honest with y'all, okay? You know, I started the Money Multiplier podcast. I think that was back in like late 2019, early 2020 is when I started it. And I remember really doing a whole lot of episodes when I just started doing the show, because I remember I was in my other van and I was in Idaho, and I remember recording a lot of my episodes in the early years when I was in Idaho. And I actually had a co-host at that time, Mr. Jonah Dew. If y'all know the Banking Brothers, they're part of the Money Multiplier. And I was nervous to do it all by myself, right? So I said, Jonah, come and do the show with me. And then I kind of ditched Jonah. I said, okay, Jonah, I got it handled now. But go follow the Banking Bros. They're a great resource as well when it comes to the infinite banking concept. Can give you a different perspective too. But I really started the Money Multiplier podcast because people will ask me the same question. I mean, honestly, there's no new questions that I've been asked within a few years. So I was like, okay, if people are asking me the same question over and over again, more so, I did it selfishly because I'm like, how can I leverage my time better where I can answer this person's question, but then link them to an episode where I dive even deeper into that specific question that they have. And that's really why I started the podcast show. And now it's great. I mean, actually, it's a lead source. So for all my business owners, I mean, podcast shows are great for lead generation and getting your message out there. And I really started to do that because of it. And so I'm kind of getting back to the roots of the topics that we would discuss very early on in the podcast show, which is our common FAQs when it comes to the infinite banking concept. Now, I'm probably going to be bouncing around a little bit because I don't have a total like structure to these questions, but they all kind of tie in nicely together, okay? So, first question that I have, and this is a big common question I get. Hannah, do I have to keep paying my premium forever? And I get it, okay? I get where that question's coming from because later on in my life, maybe I'm not going to be working as much. I'm not going to have the same income that's coming in from my W-2 job that I do right now. So I understand where that question is coming from. Now, hopefully, you're following us that as you go through life and you're working your W-2 job or you are a business owner, that your passive income is rising so that your active income is still there, but it doesn't matter if my active income goes down because my passive income keeps rising, right? I mean, that's all we're trying to do is really create the mailbox money is what a lot of people like to call it, okay? So do I have to keep paying my premium forever? Short answer, no, you don't have to. And you can actually, in a policy, you're going to notice that your premium is actually going to drop later on down the road. I'm going to get deeper into that here in a second. But number one, your premium is going to drop later on. We're going to be forced to drop it off. And then number two, if you really, really wanted to, yeah, you could stop paying your premiums, okay? You could either use the cash value, your dividends. I mean, your dividends are going to be so substantial that it could actually pay that base premium itself and that you don't have to come out of pocket with any premium dollars if you don't want to. But hear me out on my mindset, okay? When we're talking about the infinite banking concept, this is me becoming my own banker. And what it truly is that my money has to be stored somewhere, right? And I say it all the time. What are options? Well, my options are number one, I could go leave it at the local bank because that's just where they keep the money at. Number two, I could leave it in cash, leave it in a safe, leave it under my mattress, dig a hole in the backyard. So that's where I could store my money at. Or, I could go lock it up in a 401k, a qualified plan. I could go give it to a financial advisor who thinks they can manage my money better than I can. And that's all the options that we think that we're given. So instead, I'm warehousing my money. Shout out R. Nelson Nash. He has a book called Warehouse of Wealth. That's a good resource. I'm warehousing my money inside of my policies now. And my policies is my private bank. So all it is just where I'm storing the money at. Because hear me out. The only difference, in my opinion, between a commercial bank and a mutually owned life insurance company is the name on the front door. They're both places of where you can store your wealth at. And I always ask y'all the question, have you ever made too many deposits inside of your bank account? Hopefully the answer is no. So that's the same mindset that you need to have walking into the infinite banking concept. Your premiums are your deposits. Yes, it's a payment. But in my mindset, I think of my premiums as a deposit because when that premium goes into my policy, I have immediate access to cash value. My definition of immediately is within 30 days. And I can use that money for whatever I want, whenever I want, and I'm the owner of that contract, okay? So to me, my premiums are treated more as a deposit rather than a payment. And what word do y'all like better, payment or deposit, right? So I am going to pay these premiums for as long as I can and as much as I can. And by that point, I mean, I'm telling y'all, by year 4 or 5, you're already breaking even that cash on cash in that year in that policy. Meaning, if I have a premium of $10,000 a year, by year 5, I put in $10,000 of my premium. My cash is growing by that same $10,000. And then this is when the fun starts to happen. Year 6, I put in $10,000
$10,000 of premium. Well, now my cash value is growing by $10,600 that year. So because of the uninterrupted compounding, each and every year and every day gets better and better because it is a truly guaranteed appreciating asset. That is what the policy is. Because of the uninterrupted compounding, my cash continues to grow year after year. So by year 25, if I put in 10,000 of premium and my cash value grows by $17,000, what is that cost to keep this policy alive and active? I mean, in my opinion, I'm making some money, right? But it takes time, okay? The policy is almost like starting a business from scratch, okay? So you have to build up the growth, I guess, if you will. That's not the right word, but you guys get what I mean. You have to start somewhere, because like year one, when I start that policy, I put in 10,000 of premium. I'm not going to have access to that same 10,000 of cash value quite yet. But I always ask you, are you in this for the short term or the long term? You tell me long term, but you tend to get hung up in short term thinking. Okay, I'm telling you right now, this is not a get rich quick kind of deal. This is a process, a lifestyle, in addition to that you're adding to your financial life. And if you're already in the mindset that I'm going to do this stuff and then stop it after 5 years, no, this ain't for you. Go do something else. Okay. So now I'm getting really detailed. I'm getting ADD in my head. You could do for 5 years and stop if you really wanted to. Stop paying premiums if you wanted to, right? To go back to my question, do I have to keep paying my premiums forever? No. So like I mentioned, number one, your premiums are going to reduce later on down the road. And then if you ever really wanted to, you can actually change the policy contract to what's called a reduce paid up. Okay, reduce paid up, sometimes we refer to it as RPU for short. But what that means is that I could actually stop paying premiums, pay up the contract, no more premiums go in, but I still got my cash value bucket. I still earn my guaranteed interest and the dividends on that money. And then I still got this death benefit. It just means that there's no more future out of pocket capitalization that could be happening if I did continue to pay those out of pocket premiums inside of it. So like I mentioned, I mean, my whole mindset is I'm going to pay these premiums for as long as I can, because at that point, once I get past those efficiency points, I mean, what's that rate of return that everybody likes to talk about inside of that policy? If I put in 10,000 and my cash growth is 17,000, you see what I'm saying? So you can always stop paying premiums, change the contract to a reduce paid up. And this option becomes available to us right around year 7 to year 10. The reason I say year 7 to year 10 is because that's the sweet spot to stop paying those premiums, change it to a reduced paid up status, and we won't cause the contract to turn into a MEC, modified endowment contract. Let's go into that question. It's a little bit later on my list, but let's talk about it. MEC. What is the MEC? Why is it there? And how does it impact my policy? A lot of the time, people also ask me, can I increase my premium? No, you can't go into a policy contract and quote unquote increase the premium. This is why we start additional policies. I call it branch offices of my bank. So can I increase my premium? The answer is no. Can I decrease my premium? The answer is yes. You can always decrease it. So why can I not increase my premium? Well, you're locked into that premium contract. You're locked into the premium based on what it says. Because if you try to go into a policy contract and increase the premium, that's increasing the death benefit, the underwriting amount at the insurance company, what they're covering you for. And that's going to require additional underwriting because they have to approve of that extra increase in that base premium death benefit. So that's why. Now, how does this kind of tie into the MEC? Okay, and let's just kind of talk about MEC for a second, what it is.
The MEC is an IRS code, okay? The MEC stands for Modified Endowment Contract, as I mentioned. And here's how I want y'all to think about this. Think about it as a imaginary line inside of your policy. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to overstuff the policy to go over that imaginary line. Because if we do, the government now is going to start looking at the policy like it's an investment rather than an insurance contract. And then now they're going to start taxing us on it. And we don't want that. I want to keep all the tax-free growth, the tax-free benefits that come with the policy, because cash value grows tax-free and the death benefit gets paid out tax-free. So I want to keep that because, in my humble opinion, the government takes enough of my money, right? So that is why in those early years, the MEC limit and the death benefit really play hand in hand together. So if I go into this policy contract and I reduce pay it up too soon, too early on, and I am already overfunding it, I could potentially hit my MEC limits. I have a client in my email right now. He's going through some downtime within his financial life. And so we're exploring the options of lowering premiums. Hey, can we use the cash value to help pay for premium? Or worst case scenario, can we pay up the contract? And right now, because he's in year 6 of his policy, we can't pay it up because it will trigger MEC status. However, as Nelson Nash always says, MEC is not the end of the world, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all about the process of our banking. Where are we storing the money at? How are we protecting it? Giving me liquidity, access to the capital, having the freedom and my own autonomy to do whatever I want with my policy, with my cash. And that's the whole premise, if you will, of this concept. So MEC is not the end of the world, right? But if I can avoid it, I do want to avoid the MEC status. Now, Dexter did ask a good question. Can you RPU then bring it back later? No, you cannot. So once it's a reduced paid up status, you cannot turn back on those premiums in the contract, okay? Let me see some of the comments that are coming in. Margaret, good morning. Coming from California. Hey, Justin. And Svetlana, good to see you. Good to see you as well, Lisa. Okay, so yes, so RPU, MEC status, okay? Covered those two topics just a little bit. Let's talk about, we did talk a little bit about, can I increase my premium? No, okay? When you're ready to start funneling more of your cash flow through policies, this is when and why you would start an additional policy. Policy number 2. I think of it like the branch office of my bank. Just as Wells Fargo has a whole bunch of branch offices, you can have multiple branch offices of your bank. It doesn't matter if you go to the branch office on Main Street or the one on 3rd Street. It doesn't matter. It's still the same branch office of your bank. So same principles apply here with the policies. So at that time, when you are ready to start pushing more of your cash flow towards policy premiums and you completely maxed out your first policy, and what I mean by that, maxing out the first policy, is that I paid up my premium. I paid it all the way up to annually. I put in any additional wiggle room of more monies into extra paid up edition premium. And I can't fit a single cent more in there or I will hit the MEC status. That's when and why you would start policy number 2. Let's talk about dumping before I get to, can I decrease premium for a second? Okay, dumping. Dumping is just a street term, if you will, when we're talking about extra paid up additions inside of my policy. Extra paid up additions. In your policy, there will be additional wiggle room each year that you could dump in extra money as time goes on, because here's the funky little quirk. The MEC limit is a moving target. Anytime I pay premium, what the insurance company says, I have a material change in the policy, is the insurance lingo. Material change just meaning anytime I pay premium into my policy, that's when the MEC limit's going to move and it's going to get higher and higher. So we know where the MEC limit's going to be at year one, month one. But after that, we just inquire into the insurance company. So what I personally do is when I pay my policy premium, because honestly, y'all, I had 2 premiums come due. I had one come due on January 2nd, and then I had another one. It wasn't due yet, but I paid it in advance. Just FYI, you can pay your premiums in advance by 30 days. Okay, so that's how long we really have to pay it in advance. So I just already had the money. I said, okay, let's just go ahead and pay this premium. So when I pay my policy premium, when that premium processes, I will write in an email into the insurance company and say, hey, just paid my premium. How much extra PUA premium can I put inside my policy without hitting the MEC status? And then the insurance company will go do all of their calculations and the actuarial work that they do over there. And then they will give me back a dollar amount of how much extra I can fit inside of my policy. So then I know, okay, when I come into some extra capital, I'm going to put that money as more more extra paid up edition premium inside of my policy. And I do it every year. I really want to max out these policies and really continue that uninterrupted efficiency that's happening inside of my policy contracts. So on this topic of dumping for a second, you can design a policy to have a year one dump in. You can actually, even depending on the company, this is why I do business with 6 different companies, because they have special little quirks with all of them. You could even design it to have subsequent year dump ins. Maybe I'll get into that in a later topic, okay? But sometimes, like a big FAQ that I get a lot is, Hannah, I'm a real estate investor. I sold this property. I've come into some money. I have this lump sum of cash bucket here of $100,000. Let's just make it up. I have a cash bucket of $100,000. My real estate investors do this a lot. My families who have a large savings account that's just sitting there doing nothing but sitting stagnant at the bank, earning pennies, taxable pennies on that money, they'll kind of come to their senses and say, hey, I think I want to move this inside of a more efficient, better thing for me. Or my people who are like, maybe it's not a good idea that I should be depositing money into this 401k, this IRA, this qualified account, because I'm locking away my good dollars today to get paid back with non-guaranteed weaker dollars in the future. So I don't think that's a good idea that I'm doing this, right? So y'all will have like this cash bucket, okay? This cash bucket of money. And let's make believe it's $100,000. Y'all ask me, Hannah, can I take this $100,000, dump it into the policy year one, but I don't think I'm going to do $100,000 every single year. It's just not comfortable, not feasible for me right now. But I could do $1,000 a month or $12,000 a year for the ongoing premiums. So you can design a policy to have a dump in. Year one, dump in the $100,000, and then year 2, drop it down to a lower, ongoing, more comfortable premium amount. Now, why specifically, like my families and my investors like those dump-ins, is because I tell you conservatively, of that dump-in money, you'll have access to 90% of it that you can take out and start using immediately within 30 days from the policy. So if I have $100,000, I could dump that in, have access to 90,000, take that out, and then go fund my next real estate transaction if that's what I'm going to go do, or use it to go and pay off debt, or use it to go put a down payment on a property, or buy a car, or take a vacation for me and my family, pay the tax bill that I got to go pay, right? Again, doesn't matter what you use the cash value for. You can use it for literally anything. But dump-ins are cool. Dump-ins are powerful. But don't think that you have to have a dump-in in order to start this concept. I say it all the time. Myself being 18 when I started my first policy, I was still a waitress at Cracker Barrel, okay? I didn't have dumping money, all right? I was still struggling with drug addiction, and I was living in downtown Kansas City with my girls. We were having a good time. I didn't have dumping money. I started where I started at, you know? I had, Dad taught me very, very well to pay myself first, okay? That's a topic we should talk about as well, making my notes. But Dad taught me at a young age to pay myself first. And so when I would get my tip money, because that was a cool thing about Cracker Barrel, right? You would get paid out in cash every single night, and there was no tip sharing. So whatever I made was my money. And I would take that money and I would literally put it in a shoebox. Okay, don't do this. don't do that. But I would take my cash and I'd put it in a shoebox, and then like every week I'd go to US Bank and I'd deposit my cash. And I'm like, here, cashier, here's all my $1 bills, right? They probably thought I was a stripper or something. But I didn't have dumping money, and I just started where I was at, and I was paying myself first. I was saving $100 a week. And so Dad says, okay, you're saving $100 a week. That's $400 a month. That's where you're going to start your first policy at. And that's what I did. I did $400 a month into that first policy. Now, you know, if I have some capital, some extra capital that maybe I don't want to commit to that high of a premium, I will work it almost backwards, where I will identify a good, comfortable premium that I want to do inside of my policy. And then I will say, okay, this is the ongoing premium that I want. How much extra capital do I just have sitting stagnant down at the bank that I could take these dollars and do a dump into that new policy? So I'm kind of to the point where I almost like work it backwards now between my 8 policies, that how I structure this dump in and the ongoing premiums now. So can I add a dump in? Discuss that. Can I increase premiums? Discuss that. Can I decrease my premiums? Let's get into this. Yes, you can decrease your premiums, right? In the policy, what makes it up is 2 moving parts. There's what's called our base premium, and then what's called the paid up additions rider. Paid up additions. You'll hear us refer to it as PUA for short. How I like to I'll almost give y'all an analogy for this. Think about your policy like it's a rocket ship, all right? And the base of your rocket, that's your base premium. And then you got these 2 booster rockets that are attached onto the side, okay? Those booster rockets, those are your paid up addition riders. And the purpose of the booster rockets is that's what gets our rocket ship out of the sky, out of the atmosphere. So in the policy world, that is how and why we have cash value made available to us immediately because of those paid up addition riders. So you're going to notice that the majority of the premium is going towards those paid up additions because that's how and why we have cash value made available to us immediately. Why am I discussing this? Number one, I want y'all to understand base premium and paid up additions, but the paid up additions is not a mandatory premium that you have to pay inside of your policy. So if you ever needed to, you can always go inside of your policy and reduce down the premiums to that base premium. And the base premium, depending on your policy design, is anywhere from 40 to 10% of your premium. So if I do easy math, if I'm doing $10,000 a year and there comes a year where I just cannot pay my premium right now, I can always go inside of that contract and reduce it down to that base. So if I reduce it down, depending on policy design, minimum premium to keep the contract alive and active is anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000. I can reduce it down by 60 to 90% if I really, really needed to. Now, here's a little bit more advanced stuff. This is what I'm going to tell you to do, though. Make sure that you pay at least the minimum towards your paid up addition premium to keep it attached on to the policy. The minimum
is $10 a month or $120 for the year. That will keep it attached on. And then you will have the full flexibility to go up and down based on your contract premium and those paid up additions that you're paying into it. So just make sure you pay the minimum to keep it attached on, because the funky little quirk is that if you don't pay anything into your paid up addition premium, it's going to fall off the policy and you can't add it back on. So we just want to make sure that it does stay attached, and then you have that full freedom to go up and down whenever you want. Now, I do see my guest in the green room right now. He's going to come back. I know he's got his camera off. I saw you, my friend. I haven't said who you are quite yet, but I think he's having a little bit of technical difficulty, so he'll come back on here in a second. But another big question I get to is, can I change my mode of premium? Yeah, you can change your mode of premium. So let's go back to that example. Let's say I'm doing a $10,000 a year premium, and then you call me up and you're like, Hannah, I just don't have this $10,000 right now. What are my options? The first thing I would tell you to do is, well, hey, let's change the mode. You could do monthly. Let's back it down to monthly. You can do quarterly premiums. You can do semi-annual every 6 months, or you can even do annual premiums if you wanted to, right? And you can bounce back and forth between those different modes of premium. So that would be my advice is, hey, drop down the premium mode if that's going to help you in your cash flow situation right now, and then keep your paid up addition premium attached on. Even if you can't do that, then just back it down to the base premium. So this is where the implementation team, I mean, if you're a member of the Money Multiplier and you have policies with the Money Multiplier, your implementation agent is there and they will help you, guide you through this as life happens, because it's life, right? We're going to have the windfalls, we're going to have the downfalls. And that's the purpose of the implementation team, because it's all about the process of our banking, right? Now, before I bring my guest on, I'm going to go to a quick commercial break and I will be right back.
Hey, I'm Hannah Kessler with the Money Multiplier.
And I'm Larry Steinhaus, CEO of Investor Schooling.
Yeah, you are, man.
Yeah.
Last year, our VIPs got something special. We took them on a private tour of
So cool.
It was cool. Of one of your investment properties.
That's right. It was my mobile home park.
Mobile home park. Over double-digit returns every single year. And for you, we're going to get deeper into how you even bought it, financed it, how you putting tenants in there.
And how cool is that? We didn't just do numbers, right? They show the strategy in real life. They show how to deal with the structure, where the income came from, and how it all worked together.
And VIP access isn't just better seating. It's about being in the right room with the right people.
You know, there were some really cool conversations that went on in that VIP event, remember?
Yeah.
There was like people had problems, we had solutions for them. Yeah. I think there was at least 2 people who bought major properties right after that VIP event.
They did. And I know exactly who you're thinking of too.
Yep.
You guys need to be in the room. If you've been waiting for a sign, here's your sign. MoneyGameLive.com.
Always go VIP.
What is up, Mr. J. Do?
What's up? Can you hear me, Hannah?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Good to see you. I'm in studio here. And,
you got Money Game Live colors behind you.
Yeah, we do. I'm excited about it. That's how excited I am. I bleed purple, ladies and gentlemen. Money Game Live coming up. Flo Rida. We're 1 month away.
1 month away. That's right. And you're coming out and you are going to be emceeing the event. Y'all, if you don't know Jeremiah Do, okay, he's a half of the Banking Bros. I was talking about the Banking Bros a little bit earlier on the show. Thanks for joining me, by the way, Jay Do. I appreciate your time.
Yeah,
But Jeremiah, you are a freaking hoot and a half when you get up there on stage. Hey, in the comments, I want y'all to plug in. If you've seen Jay Do live on stage, tell me how it is. How is the experience? Okay. I want to see the comments come in.
If you have something, and remember, everyone, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't comment at all, so I don't lose my job. Thank you. So if you think I'm a hoot on stage, you should see me in the show. Never mind. So, it's going to be fun. Yes, I'm excited. The last time we were on stage together would have been Denver, Colorado. Maybe we'll have some repeat attendees who are looking to level up to the next project, the next investment, or the next safe growth system for their family, for their financial freedom forever, and get into an infinite banking policy. Who knows? But wherever you are, I think you're going to fit into this event.
I agree. I agree. And this is going to be our second event that we're actually doing for Money Game Live. I've said it before, but I'll just reiterate just briefly. This whole event that we're doing is more so, it's a branch off, right? Okay. Because when we started, masterminds, okay, I actually put on the first mastermind. I was 19 years old because I came to Dad and I was like, Dad, we need to get the community together and we need to build relationships of people who are doing this too. Because this, you learn this information about infinite banking and then you go back home and you want to shout it from the rooftops, and then you almost feel like that whack-a-mole character. Whole life is so stupid, it's so bad. Whack, you should buy term and invest the difference. Whack. And then you kind of lose that motivation because you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have a community who understands me and is also doing this stuff. So I started off by doing the Money Multiplier Mastermind, which is just 100% the infinite banking concept. But this event is for y'all to go put your little green men to work. How can I increase my passive cash flow, my mailbox money, so then I could go live in the van down by the river if that's what I want to go do? And that's what this whole event is about, is how to put your little green men and your dollars to work for you.
That's right, because most folks are pre-seasoned and programmed to think that they earn and go straight to investing. But that actually isn't safe. There's a middle step, and that's where you become your own banker. So if you've started that process, what you're going to do is you're going to build up your cash flow through your cash value, and you're going to deploy the dollars into investments that you're not worried about. Hannah, your dad has a great, Brent Kessler out there, you guys know him and love him. He has a great story that I heard 10 years ago when I first started about him losing money that him and several other investors went in on. It was a deal that he's not involved with today. Don't worry, everybody. But he lost money in the deal. And one of his chiropractor buddies was livid, furious. This is a guy who lives in Minnesota, livid and furious about the money that he lost. And Brent was calm, cool, and collected about it. And he said, well, how come you're not as mad as me? What's going on? He says, well, I'm going to get the money all back. One of Brent's terms. I'm going to get the money all back because I deployed those little green men. I deployed the money from my policies. So obviously I didn't want to take an investment hit. However, my policy is going to be able to replenish it from the way that it works and where the money comes from. So that's very important for folks to understand. You don't skip over the banking function. Banking it will happen. You got to have your policies deploy those dollars, because if you go straight from earning to investing, you might lose everything.
That's right. That's right. Now, what have you been up to, or what do you want to get into today? So I know you're coming out to the event. You're going to go up to the Idaho property before then, because I know you guys in February love to go.
Right. We love it. We love it. Black History Month. We get as white as snow, ladies and gentlemen, up here in February. So that is something that your family has provided us some subsidies, as we might say, because your family has a cabin up there on the eastern side of Idaho. We love to go there, fly into Bozeman, Montana. And I don't get to go every year. I'm still not sure if I can make it. But Jonah, my brother, if you know him from the Banking Bros, he ain't. So it's going to be Bozeman, Montana, Idaho Falls, and it is a great, great time. So that actually for us is one of the things that we like to do most of the time around February, right before this event this year. So if I do make it, I'm going to be flying from there to Tampa to get down there. We're in Tampa, right? It's not.
Yeah, Tampa.
It is Tampa. There's
don't
so
be showing
many
up to Miami.
Right. I was like, where am I flying into? So yeah, it's going to be great. So that's one thing that we're doing. Another thing that I'm doing, Hannah, and maybe we'll talk about it on stage. It's a great, actually, maybe intro into the wonderful lineup, heavy hitters this year. So excited. Is my 10-year anniversary of getting my first infinite banking whole life insurance policy is the next week after we're off stage. So March 11th is my 10-year anniversary. So I might have to, I don't know, come up with something a little bit special. If you give me enough time on stage, I know sometimes you got these great heavy hitter speakers. Jadu only gets 30 seconds. I got to get off stage. But maybe I'll say something about the fact that it is my decade of doing this money game with you guys.
Hey, I'll make a note. I got you, my man. You want some speaking time? I'm gonna give you
All
some
right,
speaking.
very good. I'm gonna come up with something, a jingle. I want to dance a little bit, tap dance for everybody. So, yeah, so that's one thing that we're celebrating around here at the Cash Compound, where the Banking Bros prophesy what's going to happen to the money because of the guarantees from the insurance companies that we work with, and of course, the dividends from the mutual companies. We're excited about celebrating 10 years. So, my brother Jonah also will hit 10 years this summer. My date happens to be in March. His date is like in May or something. And Jesse Durham, another one of the Money Multiplier and Cash Compound coaches, he also will hit his 10-year mark this summer as well. So we're planning on a couple special episodes of this, that, and the third to celebrate 10 years of infinite banking, 10 years of compounding growth, 10 years of guarantees. It's very exciting.
And also, I really we're gonna work on another theme song. So for all my people out in Denver, Tess is in the comments right now. Tess, where'd your comment go? No, it
Let's
wasn't that one.
go. Yep.
She was bringing up the theme song, so it was awesome, man. I tried to actually. This was very early on. It was actually right after the Denver event. I tried to share the theme song on the StreamYard, and I'm still kind of new to StreamYard, and it didn't share the sound.
Right.
So, anyways, we'll play that here soon.
Yes. So so I like to bring the energy and I like to bring the theater to the events. Hannah, this is something I've been to other money conferences outside of the Money Multiplier, outside of Larry Steinhaus, outside of the what we bring to the table. And a lot of times people don't want to get involved with money because it's an emotional thing for them. They don't understand. We did not learn it in school. We do need to use the information age and the internet to figure out what are the things that our parents were too taboo to talk about, right? Your family is a little bit different, but my family, I didn't learn this from mom and dad. You have great parents, great mentors in this program, and they've been doing it, and they brought you up into it, and by the time you're 16, 17, 18, you realize what's going on. And because you knew what was going on, you knew what to do. But that wasn't me, and that's not a lot of people. But the problem is when you get around money, so many people focus on math and numbers that it bores them to death.
I know.
And many of you want to come to an event where it is exciting to be able to collaborate and talk to people. It's exciting to be able to learn. It's exciting to be able to break things down into manageable pieces and bite-sized chunks. And that's one of the things that I like to bring to the stage. So we're going to have fun with it.
They want to be entertained. I mean, that's one thing. Y'all, I've been doing a lot with my mentors. I mean, I spend a lot of money a year just in my own development, my own business strategies, even personal development. And that's one thing that I've really been learning of being a great speaker is people want to be entertained, and that's what I do. Like the first time that I really started following Dad around the country and seeing what he was doing, sharing this message, he says, Hannah, I want you to go into other people's rooms and I want you to see how they speak and how they talk, and I want you to take notes on it, and then we're going to come back to the hotel room and we're going to discuss it. And a lot of the times, no offense, but people are boring. I don't want to listen to boring speakers. I'm not going to retain the information that they're telling me because I'm sitting in the back yawning like, okay, when can I go refill my coffee back up? And I'm not saying that, I mean, you know what I mean.
We're trying to respect them. We're just saying. So a lot of people have great content and great information, but if we're going to spend time and money to come see Hannah in person, we want to smile. We want to hug Jadu. You can hug Hannah as well, but you want to hug Jadu. We want words of affirmation. We want aha moments that we can write down and get someone's number, call them about that investment opportunity or that warning, right? Sometimes people give examples. Sometimes they give warnings. Hey, don't do this. I should be a warning to you. I tried it, did not work. Some people are examples. Hey, this is working great. And so we want to have those connections. And you're going to find that in the room where it happened, because if you don't come to that room, what happens is all the cares of this world and the noise, as Nelson Nash would say, will distract you. Yeah. But if we can turn off our phones for a few minutes in the room where people are making this stuff happen, it catapults you into the next opportunity, the next year. I mean, you're going to be able to 10x your game because you were focused in a room where everyone had the same goals.
That's right. That's right. Hey, and talk to me about because we do have a big speaker coming out, Mr. Les Brown. Have you
I'm
seen
very excited. I've
Les
never seen
Brown?
Les Brown in person, and I've been following Les Brown, listening to him on stage, finding him on YouTube since way before I knew about whole life insurance, infinite banking, way before that. So he's a legend. He's getting up in age. So this is a wonderful opportunity for me. I don't care about y'all. I don't even care. I'm going to see Les Brown. So I'm going to be in the room. So that I was so excited when I saw that you were having him gonna be there because I've never met him. I don't normally follow where he's speaking. I think he's probably slowed that role
Yeah,
a little bit, and I've seen him online, for some special events. But this
he's
is gonna be great.
80 now. Isn't that crazy?
Right,
I mean,
right,
he's still at it though. I mean, this man is sharp, but 80 years old is crazy.
right, right. So
Oh.
I'm excited about that. What are some of the other topics that I'm not sure that I saw Les and several of the other speakers I know? I've been with Larry in his office, investor school. I've spoken in Pennsylvania with him before. And of course, he's got some tricks of the trade that are very, very unique. And if you're into the real estate game, I know, Hannah, you are, that's going to be really good. We're talking about cash flowing properties here. Some of the things that he talks about, and he's got courses, curriculum, and speaking training on that.
Yep.
Wonderful stuff. Excited.
Well, and other topics, because it's not just all real estate. I mean, I have a big passion about real estate because my father has ingrained it in me at a young age, like to the point that I need to sew this on a pillow because he says it all the time. He says, the only purchase that I regret never buying is a piece of property. Or the only purchase that I never regret buying as well is a piece of property. He literally still talks to this day. There was a condo, like when we were still living in Kansas City, him and mom bought a condo in Madeira Beach, okay? Madeira Beach, Florida. It's on the West Coast. And still to this day, he's like, oh my gosh, if I would have bought that back then at $250,000 of what it cost, it would be worth $650 today. And so that's just why we're passionate about real estate, just because it is always appreciating. It's always going up in value. And that's where Dad always says the only time I've never lost money is in a piece of property, this piece of land or property that I'm buying for myself. So that's why we're very passionate about it. But it's not just real estate, Courtney Moeller is going to be coming out and talking about oil and gas investing, which I think is powerful from the positioning of taxes and depreciation that we can get. Multifamily is great for the depreciation as well, because as you continue to build your wealth, you're going to notice that the tax man's going to want more and more of your money. And that's why you need to, I'm looking at my books over there. I'm reading that book, y'all. Remember when I started talking about the tax-free wealth book a few past episodes ago? But as you continue to more wealth, the government just wants to take more and more of your money. So it's like, how can I figure out the tax code and what's going on so that I can keep the money that I'm already making? So oil and gas, multifamily, tax strategies. So actually, Mr. Don Pendleton, he's just an educator, okay? He is there. He can actually just speak because he is not the guy who is actually licensed himself. He has people on his team, which I think is powerful because he is not conformed to what's the right word? The
confined. He's not confined to compliance issues.
Yes, compliance.
Things like that. Yeah.
Yes.
That's good. That can be powerful. And at the same time, that the system that he's put together is working because he does have a team. We know several people like that. They exit out of maybe personal production and coaching one-on-one because they're not licensed anymore. So they're not here to sell you. They're here to educate you and make sure you go down the right path. And so that can be very powerful.
Yes. So,
but everybody that comes, including ourselves, we actually practice this. We actually do these things. I have 9 infinite banking whole life insurance policies. Personally, I have 9 of them. Tess, throw in the comments out there. I can't see the comments, so Hannah has to love it to put it up. How many policies do you guys have? We actually practice what we preach, So.
Yep. Tess says March 16th is the completion of year 5 of her second policy.
I love it. So me and Tess are celebrating anniversaries in the same week because I believe I'm a March 11th guy for my policy. So I love it, Tess. Yeah.
So they're going to be coming out, and also Isabel. Isabel's going to be talking about residential assisted living. Hey, let me ask you this question, Jadu.
Yeah.
Right now, how many people a day do you believe is turning 65 years old? How many people a day is turning 65 years old, if you were to guess?
I'm going to say, all right, chat, help me out here.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going in. All right. Elon Musk has told me I'm going to go with a number that I think I have heard before.
Okay.
Because I'm not guessing. I was like, I think I've heard this number. People say it. I'm going to go with 10,800.
Wow. Very good. 10,000.
Okay. Yeah.
10,000 people a day are turning 65 years old. And I can tell you, just for my own personal family, this is a big topic right now.
Oh, I was about to say, everybody in your family is turning 65 this year. I was like, my personal family is also, all of them. Yeah.
I mean, Daisy might be in cat years,
Yes.
but with Papa being 91, Nanny's 88,
Okay.
Grandpa's 82, Grandma's 86, they are getting into those ages where they're going to need the assisted living care. And this is where you can protect and profit from what's called the silver tsunami. People have been identifying it as the silver tsunami because of all the baby boomers who are turning into age 65 plus and who's going to be needing that care. And that's why also I think like nursing, my niece Tori is she wants to go to school to be a nurse. And I said, Tori, they're long hours, but you're right. We need more nurses because we need that care. So Isabel's going to be coming out and talking about how she literally only works 4 hours a week, and she has these assisted living homes that she rents out. She's the one who owns the property. She hires out operating companies to help run and facilitate all of the nurses, the I want to call them patients, but not patients, the
residents.
Thank you.
Residents.
Yeah, that come in and that need that care. But literally she's making buku bucks only working 4 hours a week. So how can I design my life that I'm making profit, also helping people? Like that's when it finally clicked with me. Like you kind of get to a point in your investing journey that, all right, I'm making money. I love making money. Money does motivate me, but it kind of gets to a point where you're like, I want to do more. I want to also help people on my investment journey as well. And that's why I really align with Isabel and what she's doing, because she's helping people, but then also she's profiting from helping these people, right?
Love it. Yeah, because people helping people. For those of you who know that acronym, that is not a part of the insurance group we are part of. However, yeah, what we're here to do is love and serve people. And if we do that through a mutual understanding and growth where it is a collaborative effort, everyone actually wins, right? Your grand folks need that support. Yeah. They also, because they need it, need to pay for it. They're willing to pay for it. And at the end of the day, they say thank you. So when you're doing the right type of collaborative effort, how many of you understand this? That it's independence, dependence, it's dependence, then independence, then interdependence. Because if you're doing good work with people, and let's put it in the context of residential care. Residential care, elderly living facilities, assisted living, nursing home. People are saying thank you for providing the care, but they're paying you. So you're saying thank you for getting the checks. Everyone wins. That's the third level, interdependence, where we are winning collectively. Everyone's winning. I love that.
Hey, actually, to that point, you made me think of something.
Yep.
Long story short, this came from my younger brother, because Zach flies with, pilots who are a lot older than himself,
Sure. Yeah. Right.
For some reason, people think that in order for me to win, or you to win, whoever, you to win in an investing deal, somebody else has to lose. In order for you to make money, I have to lose. No. Where did that mindset come from? I don't get it.
I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's because we did grow up with siblings. You got your brother, right? You got two brothers, but you got your little brother. I got my little brother. And maybe it's little brother problems. See, these little brothers out there are the ones who made us think that they have to, we always were bigger and faster and stronger than them, right? And so they had to, they won, we lost, right? Yeah. If we won, they always lost. We were bigger, faster, stronger, right? Hannah, you got a couple years on your brother. I have several years, a handful plus years on my brother. So I don't know, but you're exactly right. Interdependence is we both win. And there's only we're talking Carnegie out here, right? We're talking about think win-win. We're only going to do the deal if we both can win.
That's right. That's right.
And if we both win, then we always want to come back and do more deals together. We both win.
Yes.
Yeah.
You made me think about living in Kansas City. We have basements in Kansas. Florida, we don't have basements, but in Kansas we have basements, right? And that was our playroom. First of all, Mom, why did you choose to paint it like a lime green? No offense, Mom, but it was the ugliest green I've ever seen. I love you, Mom. But she painted it this lime green color, and that was like our playroom. We had the Xbox was downstairs. We had the ping pong table and other things, right? And Zach and I, we love to play Call of Duty, all right? Sometimes we'd even play together. I would be on the mic talking to people, and they would think that it was a female playing, and then Zach would be on the controller kicking everybody's butt, right?
Yeah.
But I remember one time that Zach and we were fighting. It got to the point where Mom had to set the timer for us to go back and forth playing on the Xbox.
Oh, for sure. I got kids. Yes.
And Zach wouldn't get off the Xbox. I took the controller and I just chucked it at him. It missed him and it put a hole in the wall. And I still think about that to this day. Sorry, Zach. I love you. We were just kids.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let this be a lesson to you. You got to get these kids off of these screens. Now, you're talking about the playroom when you were younger, saying Xbox. And I'm like, whoa, how many of you out there? Hannah is too young for me. Too young for me. When there was no Xbox. I was grown by the time there was an Xbox. Okay, so when I was a kid, and there was Atari still being sold, and Grandpa had the Atari. So at Grandpa's house, we played the Atari, and then at home we played the original NES, Nintendo. We playing Mario, Luigi, Duck Hunt, right? We're playing a little Contra out there and stuff like that. So that's what we were doing. So for those of you who think Hannah is too young, you are correct, and you can talk to me. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, my man. Well, I know we're here to the top of the hour. I usually do these shows for about an hour. We can definitely go longer if we want to. But I do, because Lisa, I saw your comment come through. She says that I should play the Denver theme song.
Did you know how? Do you have it?
I do know how now.
yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Right.
But if you think this is good, ladies and gentlemen, I've learned one extra thing in AI since that time. So here it comes. Go for it.
Here it comes. Don't leave me yet. All right. We ain't going to turn it off soon. I just want y'all
Yeah.
to see this video. It's a lot of fun. Oh, wait. Hold on. I thought I had it uploaded. Stand by. Sorry, y'all.
All right. Don't worry. I'll sing it for you until she has it. I'll sing it for one bite at a time. Something like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, yes, I will be on stage with you. I'm looking forward to picks and hugs. We got a VIP night. We got 2 great days of events, and I assume tickets are still available for VIP as well, or are they sold out?
Yep. Very limited though.
Okay, very limited. MoneyGameLive.com, I believe, and we're excited to see you guys in Florida. I'll be coming in from either Idaho or Utah, for those of you who know that one. Or South Carolina, where I live. And yes, we are okay. If you're on the East Coast, you know that there has been a weather pattern. My goodness, it was like 15 states. But in our neck of the woods, where Jonah and I live here, the Banking Bros headquarters, the Cash Compound, we had 2 inches maybe of snow, maybe an inch of ice, and we don't have any equipment. So we canceled everything starting Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Lots of stuff was canceled, but we're okay. We're looking to get down to sunny Florida in 1 month to be with you guys to help you understand. Here's one thing that I'll give you a tip on. Help you understand what is your investor DNA. What is it that you should be involved with? If you'd like to work 4 hours, if you like the elderly, if you understand real estate, boom, we got something for you. If you need it to be completely passive, boom, maybe you should work in something else. If you understand how to get into the math, which is not my strong suit, boom, there are options for you as well. And I think a lot of people think about real estate as the investment tool. They think about real estate as the investment tool. And I want to be careful. So some of you need to realize that there are other things that you can do, passive or active, what gives you stress, what doesn't give you stress. And you also need to be thinking about how many different ways you can be involved in the same category of investment, but not have the same role, risk, responsibility, because you don't need to be involved in everything. You need to find what works for you and yours. I'm not going to be involved in heavily active, math-based investment portfolios. I'm not going to be involved in that.
You know, you got. It's just not how you learn best. You know?
It's not how I learn, but yeah, I'm not excited about it. I don't like checking on things daily. So I'm not going to trade. I'm not going to be involved in daily activity. I work in my business. My business is my biggest investment, me and my business and my brother. So like I need passive things because I already own a business I have to work in all day. And I'm excited about that. I like being here. I like doing stuff like this. I like being on stage. So like for me, I'm just not going to be involved in the markets. So that's, but you should be if that's what you're excited about and what you understand. So think about that. I think for 2026, a lot of us need to figure out where do we actually belong in our long-term game. So where do we belong?
And to that point too, because it's more so, yeah, we're all trying to live a life of freedom. And in my opinion, money allows me to have freedom and have choices. But it's also more, how can I live a more prosperous life? How can I fuel my soul, be with my family, enjoy music and arts, not having to dread waking up on Monday morning with the Monday blues. I mean, that's really what we're all after if you really think about it.
100%. You're exactly right, Hannah.
Hey, so I'm just noticing, anyways, I guess the file is too big to share it here, but I can share my screen.
Okay.
And I think this will work. Okay, so bear with me, y'all. Still newbie to StreamYard. All right.
Right. I understand. Well, I use StreamYard as well, but I got a producer next door. Will, of course, Hannah, and so he helps me out with it. Because I need to run a business, but not operate all the buttons in this room all day.
All right, y'all. Are you guys ready? Let me add it to stage. And click
now, can
play.
we hear it?
Welcome to Denver.
I can hear it. No, I don't hear it anymore. I heard it for 2 seconds and it went away. I don't hear it. Do you guys hear it?
All right. Hold on. That sucks, y'all. I'm trying to share it with y'all. We'll get it down one of these days.
One of these days.
If I share screen, also share. So I'm clicking the button, also share tab on audio.
Yeah.
Maybe. Let me mute myself. Let's do this. I'm muting you too, Gino.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, that was, hey, Denver was so 2025. Y'all ain't ready for 2026. It's Tampa. It's Tampa. We ain't worried about no Denver. Get out of here, Denver. Please. Get out of here. We don't care about you.
Dude, it was such a fun surprise. Actually, it made me tear up a little bit. I'm like, how freaking cool. I loved it. So, all right. Well, hey, what I'll do, actually, y'all, let me see about posting it on my social medias. Okay. I will post it out there, maybe post it on my YouTube as well. So you can see it, you can hear it. But it was a phenomenal video. Tess can vouch for that. And I just really appreciate you for putting that together. So thank you.
I had nothing else to do that day. Oh, well, I don't even like you that much. Okay. Bye.
All right. Any last comments?
Well, I'm excited for hugs and help and healing. I'm an alliteration guy, so that's what I've decided is going to be the theme. No, I don't know. I'll decide something else later. But new music video, Tampa, be there on time. We're playing it at the top of the show. If you're not there, if you're late or you leave early, maybe I'll play it at the end. Don't fly home too early. Who knows when I'll play it? I'm going to keep y'all guessing. MoneyGameLive.com.
MoneyGameLive.com. Hey, real quick before I let you go, somebody's asking Mr. Dexter. He's saying, what time is Banking Bros live today?
Great question, Dexter. I think I know who you are by sight. I'm not sure. We are suspending our live coaching call, live coaching hour that we normally do at the top of the hour, noon. You heard it here first on Hannah's show. We're suspending that at this moment. So there are no new Thursday coaching hours on the calendar until further notice. Appreciate you, though. I'm glad that you are following us on that. But go to our Infinite Bankers page on Facebook, private page there. Follow us at the Banking Bros on IG. We'll keep you posted.
Dude, I'm not a part of that Facebook group. You need to invite me.
I'm 90% sure you are. I'm 90% sure you are.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay. Bet.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my man. Well, I appreciate you. I'm excited to have you. And yes, you're going to have some speaking time coming up in Tampa as well. Okay. We'll make it happen.
All right. 10-4.
All right. Until then, y'all, I will be back next Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Until then, you can check out the live stream recordings on YouTube. Also, Money Mornings is a podcast show. So wherever you stream your podcast, you can go and re-listen to any past episodes there. And Tuesdays, the Money Multiplier podcast will drop as well on YouTube and on all of the podcasting platforms. So until then, do well, be great. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And hugs are better than drugs. Love y'all.